In the vast and perfect unfolding of life, every child and learner is a unique expression of divine intelligence, and the gift of education is a sacred instrument placed in the hands of those who would awaken the innate potential within. Inclusive education is the acknowledgement of this truth, a recognition that every mind, regardless of ability, circumstance, or challenge, possesses the spark of genius and the capacity for growth. When the heart and mind are aligned with the law of abundance and intelligence, barriers dissolve, limitations are lifted, and the classroom becomes a garden in which every soul can flourish. It is a reflection of the universal principle that all creation is interconnected, that no one is separate from the whole, and that every individual deserves the opportunity to shine according to their own rhythm and purpose. The essence of inclusive education is the understanding that diversity is not an obstacle but a blessing. Each child brings to the learning environment unique perspectives, talents, and ways of perceiving the world. Technology, compassionate teaching, and adaptive strategies serve as instruments to honor these differences, allowing the flow of knowledge to reach each mind in ways that are natural, meaningful, and empowering. The process of learning becomes a cooperative dance between the student, the teacher, and the tools of education, reflecting the law that all abundance is available to those who are open to receive it. No child is left behind, for the intelligence of the universe responds to the clear, positive expectation that every learner can succeed and thrive when given support, encouragement, and access to the right resources. Consider the classroom as a microcosm of life itself, where the recognition of every individual's value transforms the collective energy into harmony and creativity. Inclusive education does not merely provide access to information, but cultivates the qualities of empathy, patience, and understanding, nurturing both the heart and mind of every participant. In such an environment, students learn to respect differences, to celebrate diversity, and to recognize that the presence of varied abilities enriches the collective learning experience. The teacher, guided by intuition and awareness, becomes a conduit for divine intelligence, facilitating learning in a way that honors the unique capacities of each child, and demonstrating that true education is a process of awakening rather than mere instruction. Furthermore, the principles of inclusive education align with the universal law that opportunity, growth, and wisdom are infinite and available to all. By creating spaces where every learner can participate fully, society reflects the understanding that abundance is not limited, that every mind is capable of development, and that the success of one does not diminish the success of another. Rather, each achievement, each insight, and each moment of understanding contributes to the elevation of the whole, as the law of harmony ensures that when one part of the system thrives, all parts are uplifted. Inclusive education is thus a manifestation of divine order, demonstrating that equality, respect, and opportunity are natural principles of life. It invites every learner to step into their own light, to engage fully with the resources available, and to experience learning as a joyous and effortless expression of the intelligence inherent within. Through compassion, innovation, and faith in the potential of all, education becomes a channel for empowerment, growth, and the realization of the limitless possibilities that reside in every human soul. Every child is a unique expression of divine intelligence and deserves access to learning. Every child is a unique expression of divine intelligence and deserves access to learning, for within each soul resides an infinite reservoir of wisdom, creativity, and potential that is waiting to be awakened. Education is not merely a process of transferring information or skills, but a sacred instrument through which the inner light of the mind and spirit is brought into manifestation. When we recognize that every child is a unique expression of life itself, we begin to understand that learning cannot be uniform or limited by arbitrary standards, for the divine law creates each individual in a perfect pattern, suited to their own capacities, rhythms, and inclinations. The role of education, then, is to honor this uniqueness, to provide opportunities for growth, and to nurture the inherent genius within every learner, regardless of circumstance, background, or ability. In traditional systems, many children have been overlooked or constrained by methods that fail to account for their individuality. Some struggle because their talents and learning styles do not align with the rigid structures imposed upon them, while others may feel unchallenged and uninspired. Inclusive education is the recognition of the truth that no child is less capable or less deserving of knowledge, and that every mind, when approached with care, patience, and understanding, can absorb, comprehend, and create. It is the embodiment of the universal law that intelligence is abundant and accessible to all who are receptive, and that the outer environment must reflect the inner truth that each child is worthy, capable, and deserving of support. Every learner arrives with a set of gifts and challenges that make their educational journey unique. Some children possess extraordinary creativity, while others demonstrate remarkable analytical ability or emotional intelligence. Some may require additional support to overcome learning differences or physical limitations, while others may thrive in accelerated or specialized programs. The divine principle at work is that each child's path is individualized, and the tools of inclusive education, whether technological, methodological, or relational, are designed to meet the learner where they are, allowing the natural flow of understanding to occur without force, judgment, or limitation. When educators and systems honor this individuality, learning becomes an experience of joy, curiosity, and empowerment, and the child recognizes that their value is inherent, not contingent upon conformity or comparison. Technology plays a critical role in supporting the unique expression of each learner. Adaptive software, interactive platforms, and online resources allow students to engage with content in ways that align with their own cognitive rhythms and preferences. A child who learns best visually can access videos and interactive diagrams. A student who benefits from repetition and practice can work through exercises at their own pace. A learner who excels in discussion and collaboration can participate in online forums and group projects. These tools are reflections of the universal law that abundance is infinite, that provision is available for every need, and that every child has the right to an environment that supports their growth. When technology is used thoughtfully, it does not replace human guidance, but amplifies it, creating opportunities for each learner to shine in their own way. Beyond academic content, recognizing EAC. Child's individuality fosters the development of confidence, self-worth, and agency. A student who feels seen, respected, and supported is more likely to engage fully, to take risks in learning, and to explore the limits of their abilities. Inclusive education sends a powerful message that the child's presence is valuable, that their perspective matters, and that their unique gifts contribute to the richness of the learning environment. This principle reflects the spiritual law that every individual is a perfect expression of life, and that external conditions, whether in the classroom or in society, should align with this truth to support growth, joy, and the realization of potential. Teachers and caregivers serve as conduits for divine intelligence, facilitating learning in ways that honor each child's uniqueness. By observing, listening, and responding to the individual needs of students, educators create conditions for understanding, creativity, and mastery to flourish. They recognize that patience, empathy, and encouragement are as important as instruction, and that the most effective learning occurs when the environment is aligned with the natural capacities of each learner. The classroom becomes a space where diversity is celebrated, differences are embraced, and the potential of every child is nurtured, demonstrating that education is not merely about imparting knowledge, but about awakening the inner intelligence that resides in all. Inclusive education also reflects the law of harmony and interconnection. As each child is supported according to their unique needs, the collective energy of the classroom becomes more balanced, cooperative, and inspiring. Students learn not only from the teacher but from each other, recognizing that every mind contributes to the whole. Differences are no longer seen as limitations, but as opportunities for growth, empathy, and mutual respect. In this way, the recognition of each child's individuality enhances both personal development and the shared learning experience, creating an environment in which knowledge flows freely, confidence grows naturally, and creativity is expressed fully. Ultimately, acknowledging every child as a unique expression of divine intelligence transforms education into a sacred endeavor, a practice that uplifts, empowers, and nurtures the limitless potential inherent within each learner. By providing access, support, and recognition of individual gifts, inclusive education aligns the outer environment with the inner truth that every child is worthy, capable, and deserving of success, understanding, and joy. Diversity in the classroom is a blessing that enriches the collective learning experience. Diversity in the classroom is a blessing that enriches the collective learning experience. For every variation in ability, background, perspective, and talent contributes to the tapestry of understanding that makes education truly transformative. When we recognize that each student brings a unique set of experiences, strengths, and challenges, we begin to see that learning is not a linear process, but a multidimensional one in which every contribution matters. Inclusive education celebrates this diversity, understanding that the richness of the classroom is magnified when differences are embraced rather than suppressed, and that the energy of varied minds working together produces insights and creativity that no single individual could achieve alone. This principle reflects the universal law that all creation is interconnected, and that harmony, balance, and abundance flow naturally when every part of the system is acknowledged and valued. Each student's presence in the classroom is a reflection of divine intelligence, and their differences are expressions of the infinite possibilities inherent in life. Some learners may excel in analytical thinking, others in artistic expression, some in social interaction, and yet others in problem-solving or imaginative insight. When the learning environment recognizes and honors these differences, students not only develop their own abilities, but also learn to appreciate the talents of their peers. The classroom becomes a microcosm of the larger world, where collaboration, respect, and mutual support are cultivated as natural extensions of the educational process. This experience teaches children the universal principle that diversity is strength, that the flow of life is enriched by variety, and that every individual has something valuable to contribute to the collective good. The benefits of embracing diversity extend beyond academic outcomes. Students who engage in a learning environment that values differences develop empathy, patience, and social awareness, recognizing that every mind functions in its own unique rhythm and that understanding others requires openness and compassion. These qualities are essential not only for personal growth, but also for the development of communities and societies that thrive on cooperation and mutual respect. Inclusive classrooms provide the space for these qualities to flourish, offering experiences in which learners encounter multiple perspectives, negotiate conflicts, and celebrate achievements together. This mirrors the spiritual law that abundance grows when each individual contributes their gifts to the whole, and that learning is amplified when minds work in harmony rather than in isolation. Furthermore, diversity challenges students to expand their thinking and adapt their approaches, fostering creativity and problem-solving skills. Exposure to varied viewpoints and learning styles encourages flexibility, critical thinking, and innovation, as students are invited to consider alternatives, explore new strategies, and question assumptions. Technology and adaptive learning tools enhance this process by providing customized pathways that accommodate different needs, while connecting learners to the collective knowledge of their peers. When students engage with these tools in a classroom that embraces diversity, they not only develop mastery of content, but also cultivate the skills and mindset necessary to navigate a complex, interconnected world. Teachers play a pivotal role in harnessing the blessings of diversity, guiding students to recognize and value differences, while facilitating meaningful interactions and collaborative learning. By observing individual strengths and challenges, offering tailored support, and encouraging shared contributions, educators create an environment where all students feel seen, respected, and empowered. This approach reflects the principle that the outer environment must align with the inner truth of each learner's potential, and that the collective energy of a harmonious classroom elevates every individual. The presence of multiple perspectives and abilities transforms the learning experience from a transactional exchange of information into a dynamic, living process of growth, insight, and mutual inspiration. Inclusive education that embraces diversity also aligns with the universal law of abundance, demonstrating that opportunities, wisdom, and understanding are limitless and available to all. When each child is given the space to contribute according to their unique gifts, the collective intelligence of the classroom is amplified, and the energy of learning flows more freely. Differences cease to be obstacles and become sources of enrichment, creating a culture in which collaboration, mutual respect, and shared discovery are the natural expressions of the educational process. This reinforces the understanding that every student is valuable, every perspective matters, and the richness of the whole is directly proportional to the variety of its parts. Ultimately, diversity in the classroom is a divine blessing that transforms education into a sacred, life-affirming experience. By recognizing and honoring the unique contributions of each learner, inclusive education creates conditions for joy, creativity, empathy, and excellence to flourish, demonstrating that the collective learning experience is infinitely enriched when differences are celebrated and every child is given the opportunity to shine in their own unique way. Technology and adaptive strategies empower all learners according to their individual needs. Technology and adaptive strategies empower all learners according to their individual needs, reflecting the universal principle that each child is a unique expression of life, deserving of support that meets them where they are and allows their natural potential to unfold. In the realm of education, no two minds are alike, and the approaches that awaken understanding in one learner may differ entirely from those that inspire another. Technology provides a remarkable means to honor this diversity, offering tools that are flexible, responsive, and tailored to the unique learning patterns, preferences, and abilities of each student. These instruments serve as channels through which the infinite intelligence of the universe flows, making knowledge accessible, comprehension achievable, and mastery possible for every individual, regardless of circumstance or limitation. Adaptive learning systems and technological tools are designed to observe, respond, and adjust according to the learner's performance, creating a dynamic and personalized experience. A child who excels in visual comprehension can engage with videos, diagrams, and interactive VE simulations, while another who benefits from repetition and practice can work through exercises at their own pace. Technology allows learners to progress when ready, revisit concepts as needed, and explore topics in depth, thereby cultivating confidence, persistence, and a sense of mastery. This approach aligns with the law of divine intelligence, which dictates that every soul unfolds according to its inherent pattern, and that the outer environment must accommodate this pattern to facilitate growth. When learners are empowered in this way, they experience education not as a rigid imposition, but as a natural and joyous expansion of understanding. The use of technology in inclusive education also breaks down barriers that have historically limited access to learning. Students with disabilities, learning differences, or physical challenges can engage with content through assistive technologies, adaptive platforms, and customized supports. This demonstrates the law of abundance in action, showing that when tools are designed thoughtfully and applied with intention, every learner can access the same opportunities to grow, achieve, and express their unique gifts. The provision of technology in this context is a tangible reflection of the principle that no mind is inherently limited, and that every child, when supported appropriately, is capable of understanding, creativity, and meaningful contribution. Furthermore, adaptive strategies encourage self-awareness and agency in learners. When students are given control over their learning pace, choice of resources, and methods of engagement, they develop a sense of responsibility for their growth, cultivating independence, focus, and decision-making skills. Technology acts as a supportive companion, offering guidance, feedback, and structure while allowing the student to exercise autonomy. This mirrors the spiritual law, H. At true growth occurs when the individual aligns with their own capacity, receives appropriate support, and exercises free will in a harmonious and purposeful manner. The result is a learning experience that nurtures both competence and confidence, enabling the child to see themselves as capable, resourceful, and empowered. Collaboration between technology, educators, and learners amplifies the benefits of adaptive strategies. Teachers can observe data, monitor progress, and provide targeted interventions while technology personalizes content delivery and engagement. This harmonious interaction ensures that learning is not one-size-fits-all, but finely tuned to meet the needs of each child. The classroom becomes a dynamic ecosystem in which every learner's strengths are recognized, every challenge is addressed, and collective understanding is enhanced. Adaptive strategies also promote inclusivity by leveling the playing field, ensuring that all students, regardless of their starting point, have the tools and support to succeed. Beyond academic achievement, the empowerment of learners through technology fosters resilience, creativity, and problem-solving skills. By engaging with tools that respond to their abilities and preferences, students are encouraged to explore, experiment, and innovate. Mistakes are framed as opportunities, challenges become invitations for growth, and curiosity is nurtured as a natural expression of the learner's engagement. This approach reflects the law that abundance and intelligence are inherent in every mind, and that when external conditions support the inner potential, understanding flows effortlessly, confidence grows naturally, and the joy of learning is fully realized. Ultimately, technology and adaptive strategies serve as bridges that connect the unique potential of each learner to the world of knowledge, understanding, and skill. By honoring individuality, providing responsive support, and enabling choice, these tools empower all students to flourish in their own way, demonstrating that inclusive education is not merely a concept but a living reality in which every child is given the opportunity to shine, to grow, and to fulfill the divine potential inherent within their mind and spirit. Inclusive education cultivates empathy, respect, and cooperation among students. Inclusive education cultivates empathy, respect, and cooperation among students, reflecting the universal truth that every mind is interconnected and that the growth of one contributes to the growth of all. In a classroom where diversity is honored and every learner is valued, children are invited to recognize the intrinsic worth of others and to understand that differences are not obstacles, but blessings that enrich the collective experience. The process of learning becomes a shared journey, in which collaboration, patience, and mutual support are as essential as the acquisition of knowledge itself. This approach mirrors the spiritual law that abundance and understanding flow most fully when hearts and minds act in harmony, and that the recognition of the inherent dignity and potential of every individual elevates the collective consciousness of the group. Empathy is cultivated as students encounter peers with different abilities, learning styles, and perspectives. When children are exposed to the challenges and strengths of others, they develop the capacity to perceive, understand, and resonate with experiences beyond their own. This awareness fosters compassion, patience, and kindness, qualities that are essential not only in education but in life itself. Students who learn in an inclusive environment internalize the principle that every person's journey is valid and valuable, and that offering support and encouragement strengthens both the giver and the receiver. By practicing empathy daily, learners develop a sense of shared responsibility, understanding that their actions and attitudes contribute to the well-being and success of the entire community. Respect naturally arises in an environment where differences are acknowledged and valued. Inclusive education teaches students to honor the individuality of each learner, recognizing that every mind has its own rhythm, capacity, and method of understanding. When children are encouraged to appreciate these differences, rather than compare, judge, or compete, the classroom becomes a space of harmony and acceptance. Respect is reinforced by modeling from teachers, by the structure of collaborative activities, and by the culture of encouragement and recognition. Students learn that true learning is not a solitary endeavor, but a cooperative process in which every contribution matters, and that valuing the strengths of others does not diminish their own potential, but enhances the richness of the collective experience. Cooperation is the natural outcome of empathy and respect. For students who recognize the value of their peers and understand the importance of mutual support, naturally work together to achieve common goals. Group projects, collaborative problem solving, and shared exploration of ideas become opportunities for learners to integrate their strengths, share insights, and complement one another's abilities. Technology and adaptive learning tools can further facilitate cooperation by providing platforms for communication, collaboration, and joint engagement, allowing students to contribute according to their unique capacities while benefiting from the contributions of others. In this way, inclusive education transforms the classroom into a living demonstration of the law of harmony, showing that when individuals work together in alignment with their abilities and intentions, the results are greater than the sum of their parts. The cultivation of empathy, respect, and cooperation also strengthens social and emotional intelligence, which are critical for lifelong success. Students who develop these qualities are better equipped to navigate relationships, resolve conflicts, and engage constructively in diverse communities. Inclusive education nurtures these skills organically through daily interactions that encourage understanding, patience, and collaboration. As children practice empathy, offer support, and participate in cooperative learning, they internalize patterns of thought and behavior that extend beyond the classroom, influencing their interactions with family, friends, and society at large. This reflects the law of correspondence, demonstrating that the habits, attitudes, and energies cultivated in one context naturally extend to others, creating a ripple effect of harmony, understanding, and shared achievement. Furthermore, cultivating these qualities reinforces self-awareness and confidence in each learner. As students recognize their own ability to contribute meaningfully to group efforts, to support peers, and to engage constructively, they gain a deeper sense of purpose, agency, and value. They understand that their voice, ideas, and actions matter, and that their growth is intertwined with the growth of others. This interconnected approach fosters a sense of belonging and security, providing the foundation for curiosity, creativity, and the pursuit of knowledge. Students are inspired to participate fully, to take initiative, and to embrace challenges as opportunities for collective learning, knowing that the classroom is a supportive environment where every effort is acknowledged and every contribution enriches the whole. Inclusive education, therefore, is more than a method of teaching. It is a philosophy that nurtures the heart as well as the mind. By fostering empathy, respect, and cooperation, it creates a learning environment in which children recognize the value of diversity, understand the power of collaboration, and develop the emotional and social intelligence necessary for personal and communal success. In this environment, the classroom becomes a reflection of the divine law of unity and harmony, demonstrating that when individuals act with awareness, compassion, and mutual support, learning becomes a joyous, transformative, and empowering experience that elevates both the individual and the collective consciousness of all who participate. Equal opportunity and support allow every learner to realize their fullest potential. Equal opportunity and support allow every learner to realize their fullest potential, reflecting the universal law that intelligence, creativity, and understanding are infinite and accessible to all who are receptive. Every child, regardless of ability, background, or circumstance, carries within them a divine spark, a capacity for growth and mastery that is as unique as it is powerful. Inclusive education recognizes this truth and seeks to provide conditions in which every learner can thrive, ensuring that no child is left behind, overlooked, or limited by external barriers. The environment, resources, and guidance offered in this approach serve as conduits for the natural unfolding of potential, allowing each student to engage fully with learning in a manner that honors their individuality and nurtures their talents. Equal opportunity begins with access to education itself. Historically, many children were denied the chance to learn due to geographic, socioeconomic, or physical constraints. Inclusive education corrects this imbalance by ensuring that resources, teaching, and support are available to every learner. Schools, classrooms, and digital platforms become instruments through which the law of abundance is expressed, demonstrating that knowledge is not a scarce commodity, but a universal gift that can flow freely to all who seek it. When children understand that access is available and that they are deserving of it, their consciousness aligns with the principle of empowerment, and learning becomes a natural, confident, and joyful process. Support is the practical expression of equal opportunity. It is the recognition that each student has unique needs, and that providing guidance, resources, and encouragement tailored to those needs is essential for unlocking potential. Some learners may require additional assistance to overcome challenges, while others may need enrichment opportunities to develop their talents further. Adaptive technologies, individualized learning plans, and compassionate teaching practices are all instruments that honor the diversity of learners while facilitating mastery. These supports act as bridges, connecting aspiration with achievement, and reflecting the law that when inner potential is met with appropriate external conditions, understanding and success unfold effortlessly. Providing equal opportunity and support also fosters confidence and self-efficacy in learners. When children perceive that their environment is fair, responsive, and nurturing, they are more likely to engage actively, take risks in learning, and pursue challenges with courage and persistence. They recognize that their efforts are valued, that their abilities are acknowledged, and that their growth is possible regardless of any limitations they might have faced in the past. This awareness cultivates a sense of agency, inspiring students to take ownership of their learning and to trust in their capacity to achieve, innovate, and contribute meaningfully to their communities. The result is a profound alignment between the learner's inner potential and the opportunities provided, allowing knowledge, skill, and creativity to flow freely. Equal opportunity and support also strengthen the collective learning experience. When every learner is given the tools and encouragement to thrive, the energy of the classroom is elevated, creating an atmosphere of collaboration, mutual respect, and shared achievement. Students are empowered not only to pursue their own goals, but to support their peers, understanding that the success of one contributes to the enrichment of all. This mirrors the universal law of harmony, demonstrating that when each individual is nurtured and recognized, the whole system flourishes, and the flow of understanding and creativity is amplified. Every learner becomes both a beneficiary and a contributor, and the classroom transforms into a living reflection of abundance, balance, and shared purpose. Furthermore, equal opportunity and inclusive education extends beyond academics to the development of character, resilience, and life skills. Students learn to navigate challenges, to collaborate effectively, and to appreciate diversity, internalizing values that will serve them throughout their lives. They cultivate the understanding that every individual is worthy of respect and support, that fairness and encouragement enable growth, and that their own actions can uplift both themselves and others. Technology, adaptive strategies, and teacher guidance function as allies in this process, offering the means to realize potential, while reinforcing the principles of equity, empowerment, and opportunity. Ultimately, ensuring equal opportunity and support allows every learner to step fully into their inherent capacity, to awaken their latent talents, and to experience learning as a process of empowerment and fulfillment. It reflects the divine principle that every soul is endowed with unique gifts, that the universe provides the means for growth, and that the thoughtful alignment of environment, resources, and intention can unlock the boundless potential within each child. When learners are given access, encouragement, and tailored support, education becomes a channel through which understanding, creativity, and excellence flow effortlessly, demonstrating that inclusive practices are not only fair, but essential for the realization of the limitless possibilities inherent in every human being.